In the mist-shrouded mountains where Miyamoto Musashi once wandered, his philosophy on fear and success was forged as surely as the steel of his sword. To Musashi, fear was not an enemy to be slain, but a force to be understood and harnessed, a constant companion on the path to mastery. He believed that fear was rooted in uncertainty. Warriors feared defeat, dishonor, or death because they focused too much on what lay beyond their control. Musashi taught that to conquer fear, one must first accept its presence. A samurai who denies fear is like a man who denies his shadow. It remains regardless. In his duels, Musashi moved with a calmness that unnerved his opponents. He wasn't without fear. He simply refused to let it dictate his actions. He wrote, "You can only fight the way you practice." To him, relentless training bred familiarity, and familiarity bred confidence. Fear fades when the body knows what to do without the mind's interference. Musashi practiced until his sword was an extension of his arm, and his arm an extension of his will. In battle, there was no time for thought, only action. He believed that hesitation, not born from fear, was the true killer. Success came to those who moved without doubt. However, Musashi also taught that one must detach from the outcome. He warned against fighting with the sole intent to win, for that desire breeds fear of failure. Do not let the body be dragged along by mind, nor the mind be dragged along by the body. In other words, focus not on victory or loss, but on the present moment. Each movement should be complete in itself. He believed that success was not a singular path. You must understand that there is more than one path to the top of the mountain. This philosophy extended beyond swordsmanship. Whether one sought victory in battle or success in life, Musashi urged adaptability. A rigid mind breaks where a flexible one bends and endures. Musashi's detachment extended to fear of death itself. He embraced the idea that death was inevitable, and by accepting it, a warrior could fight with unparalleled clarity. The way of the warrior is resolute acceptance of death. He did not court death recklessly, but neither did he waste energy avoiding it. In this mindset, fear lost its teeth. The samurai who accepts death no longer fights to survive. He fights to win. Musashi embodied this truth, defeating opponents who were shackled by the very fear he had cast aside. But his wisdom extended beyond the battlefield. Musashi believed that the principles of combat applied to life itself. Fear of failure, rejection, or hardship was no different from fear of an enemy's blade. Success, he argued, demanded the same resolute spirit. He stressed the importance of introspection. To Musashi, knowing one's enemy was vital, but knowing oneself was essential. If you know the way broadly, you will see it in everything. A warrior who understands his own strengths, weaknesses, and fears can adapt to any challenge. Self-awareness became the foundation of his invincibility. Musashi also believed in the power of persistence. He taught that mastery was not a destination, but an endless journey. It may seem difficult at first, but everything is difficult at first. This, he believed, was the truth of all endeavors. Fear often masquerades as difficulty, but hardship is merely the first test of resolve. He compared life's struggles to the forging of a katana. The steel endures fire, hammer, and grindstone, not because it enjoys the pain, but because only through such trials can it become strong. Likewise, Musashi believed people should welcome hardship as a forge for the soul. Musashi himself was a living testament to his beliefs. He fought over 60 duels, often outnumbered or disadvantaged, and emerged victorious not through superior strength, but by mastering his mind. His greatest battle was not against a rival, but against fear itself. To Musashi, fear's true power lay in its ability to create hesitation, to freeze a man in his tracks. He believed that action, even imperfect action, was always superior to inaction. "The way is in training," he said, emphasizing that consistent effort, not innate talent, shaped a warrior's fate. He observed that many warriors trained their bodies but neglected their minds. Musashi warned against this imbalance. A strong sword arm is useless without a steady spirit. He preached that mental discipline and physical skill must rise together, like twin blades. His philosophy extended to strategy. He taught that fear often narrows perception, causing warriors to fixate on a single solution. Musashi advocated for a broader view, seeing not just the sword but the entire battlefield. Success, he believed, belonged to those who could shift their tactics without hesitation. Musashi also understood the value of stillness. He wrote of being like the moon reflected on water, calm yet ready. He believed that success wasn't about relentless motion, but about knowing when to strike and when to wait. Fear, he argued, pushes men to act too soon or too late. True mastery is acting exactly when you must. He rejected the pursuit of perfection. To Musashi, perfection was a myth that paralyzed people with fear of falling short. He believed in relentless improvement instead. Each day was a chance to sharpen one's edge, to grow stronger and wiser, not to chase an impossible ideal. Musashi's life was a testament to his teachings. He never built a grand dojo or sought political power. He wandered, studied, and taught. He sought not to conquer others, but to master himself. For him, that was the true path to success. His final lesson, penned in his book, Dokudo, The Way of Walking Alone, was this: accept everything just the way it is. This was the heart of his philosophy: to let go of fear, desire, and attachment, to walk the path with clear eyes and an unwavering spirit. Even centuries later, his teachings endure. Musashi's wisdom reminds us that fear is not an obstacle, but a crucible, one that tempers those brave enough to face it. Success is not about avoiding fear, but about moving forward in spite of it. To conquer fear and succeed in life, Musashi believed, one must first conquer the self. For the fiercest opponent any of us will ever face is not an enemy across the battlefield, but the doubt that lives within our own mind.